Okay. Oh, we've gone live. Hey, we're live. Hopefully you can hear us. If you're in the chat, let us know if you can
I'm
hear.
pretty sure there's no technical issues this time. Much more high production in GB News as always. Welcome everyone to the Snowflake Show. I hope you're all doing well. I'm your co-host Regan Elite, and alongside me,
I'm Lee. Gone. Sorry, my phone's just started ringing. It's typical, that, isn't it?
Can we just make sure he's definitely speaking as well? Because I don't want him not being able to be heard like he did 2 weeks ago as well.
It looks like it, but
hope you're all doing well. Hope you had a great week. Let's see, just while Lee's just double checking everything. Let's just see who we got in the chat here. Lefty Boater, good to see you. David Blase, good to see you, my friend. Just Giraffe, hello. Thanks, guys, for coming along. Greatly appreciate it, of course. And yeah, it's hello, Ben. Yeah, just caught you just in the nick of time there. So, hello, guys. Yeah, so we got some interesting stories, obviously, for you guys tonight. Definitely, yeah, this one about this squirrel. That's definitely an interesting one. That's for sure. We'll come to that a bit later on. Lee, how are you? You all right?
Yeah. Sorry, I'll take my headphone off so I can hear as I was talking. Yeah, I'm not bad. Been a quiet week again in the news.
Yeah, quiet week. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those days again, isn't it? There's supposed to be a punchline somewhere there, and I've completely forgot what it was.
Well, I mean, I'm genuinely unclear about what's going on in the world at the moment. I don't know about you. Are you genuinely unclear?
Yeah, I think this week has not been. I think obviously the main story of this has been what's going to happen with Parliament and PMQs. We do have an update story in what's been going on in Ukraine because we kind of been looking at it for the last couple of weeks, so we kind of want to give you guys a bit of an update on that as well. Because I think that's quite important to us all. War there because it does affect everyone in the world, and obviously more importantly the people of Ukraine. So yeah, we had PMQs, didn't we, today? And obviously the Prime Minister, how on earth was she going to respond at PMQs? Interesting. I did watch the full PMQs. I don't know if you were able to watch it in full as well, Lee, but
I kind of caught it afterwards, so I didn't watch it on at the time, but I caught it afterwards.
That's all right. You saved yourself some trouble. There was, you expect exactly what you guys were expecting from Liz Truss. She was asked a question, and guess what? She didn't answer the question. So if you guys were expecting Tory MPs to kind of rip her apart at PMQs, that didn't happen either, unfortunately. There was, I think it's more of a case based on PMQs. If you guys haven't watched it in full, we'll show you a little clip in just a bit later on. But it was, okay. I mean, there were definitely some blows hit by Keir Starmer and Blackford and other MPs on the opposite side, but nothing really from the Conservative MPs that make them want to basically be done with us per se. Which is kind of not good because it's as far as I'm aware, the pound has not dropped during PMQ. So as far as I'm aware, so that's I guess that's a good thing, I suppose, Lee.
Yeah, we didn't do this. We always forget, so let's just do this.
Oh, of course, it is the news. Yes. Let's go straight into before we go into PMQs.
Well, this is I think this is from PMQs. So, do you want to read this one, or shall I?
Yes, the one where Liz Truss says she will absolutely not cut public spending despite a windfall warning of 62 billion pounds. I think I said that the wrong way around, didn't I? And for some silly reason, I haven't got it up here. No, I do have it up here. Apologies. All right, there we go. I've got it. So, yeah, so Liz Truss at PMQ, she basically was asked point blank by Keir Starmer, would she She promised before that she wouldn't cut public spending. Are you going to commit to that? And she said yes. Which, if you guys know, when she says yes, 90% of the time she means no. So Liz Truss has pledged not to cut public spending to balance the books in her first PMQs since the Chancellor's contagious mini budget, despite leading economist-focused think tanks warning the government is billions short of the sums needed. The Prime Minister insisted that she was absolutely not planning public spending reductions, but vowed that taxpayers' money would be used well. Her pledge comes as the government continues to be under pressure for the market turmoil that erupted after the government announced its 45 billion package of unfunded tax cuts last month. Speaking to Sky News after PMQs, Mel Stride, the chair of the Treasury Select Committee, said that Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng should not take the reversal of some of his tax cuts off the table. He said that holding the line on the measures announced in his mini budget would be more difficult following Ms. Truss' comments on public spending, and that October the 31st date of the Chancellor's debt cutting plan being published is a moment for a reset. He told the political referee Beth Rivby that the Chancellor has to be so careful that he doesn't take any chances. Has to be sure that the markets are going to like what he hears, and that's why I think rowing back on the tax cuts have to remain on the table. It's extraordinarily important to whatever the Chancellor comes forward with on the 31st that it cuts with the market. If there's any doubt about his mind about anything he's doing, he will do well to think again. He's got to play ultra safe. The very fact that Liz Truss has basically said that in PMQ, she's kind of put the Chancellor in a right pickle, shall we say? Because how's he supposed to show this on the 30th? I mean, he's got some time ahead of him, but the fact that what's he going to do? Defy what the Prime Minister said? And is the Prime Minister lying? 90% sure she probably is lying, because she has been known to be a liar. Not as big as liar as Boris Johnson, but still a liar in of itself, Lee. But
I think one of the things about her is that she backs herself into a corner every time. So somebody asks her a question, and rather than kind of sort of not answer it, or to make herself look more assertive and like, yes, I have, I'm prepared for this, she just gives an answer which she thinks that her party or her MPs or whatever will want to hear, without thinking about like the consequences of the fact that she might not be able to deliver it. And she does it time and time again. So I don't know.
It's very dangerous, because we're already playing with the public finances as it is, with this kamikaze budget that everyone's calling it, and rightly so. But the fact that she's ruled out austerity essentially by saying this, which is like, well, really, how are you going to pay for it then if you're not doing austerity?
Well, what she said is very important to differentiate between what Keir Starmer asked, the question that Keir Starmer asked, which was, are you going to commit to not cut public service? It was services. I think he said services. She said she was going to commit to not cut public spending. Now, if you think about what that means, things like spending all this money on the cap on energy prices is going to be massive. So she's like, we've already committed to spending a £250 billion. Well, yeah, but that's for tax cuts for the rich, and like you say, the energy cap. So that for her is public spending. Well, that doesn't mean that she's not. And then she said she's gonna, we're just gonna spend it more, spend taxpayers' money more. Is it efficiently or in better word? I can't remember the words she used. Maybe should we have a look at this? Shall we look at this clip? Do you want to see?
We can have a little bit of PMQs, but all she said was yes. That was the thing,
right?
Based on the article that we've seen.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, I've been a bit thrown by the phone call I just had, so I'm just trying to. I wasn't paying attention there. Sorry, kind of somebody ringing me literally as I was starting, and I just need to find out who it was. So I'm kind of a bit thrown a bit, but
these technical difficulties always happen. But remember, the production will always be better than GB News. You're guaranteed that, people.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just have a look at a bit of PMQs.
Yeah.
Or did you just want to say something before we switch to it?
No, I think if you're gonna commit to spend to not, you're gonna say you spend, but then what she's basically saying is we're not going to we're gonna spend a load of money, but when she's not committing to stopping, to cutting on public services. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference between spending loads of money and spending it on things like, like during the pandemic, they spent a fortune on the test and trace system, which didn't work.
37 billion. Where's that gone?
Where that could have been spent in public services like the NHS or any number of things that really need public money or need money put into them. But anyway, right, let's have a quick look at this then. Sorry, I've gone and forgot they got the wrong page again. I'm a bit thrown. Sorry about that. Literally, as we started the thing, my phone started ringing, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, we do have lives outside of the show, unfortunately, guys.
I'm just going to try and... Oh, I know why. It's got too many tabs open.
Ben Shaw says, it was the car crash we all expected. Hello, Context. Good to see you here. Everything around you is the same colour. Your face blends in with your clothes and backgrounds. Yes, I'm trying to blend in, Gingers. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right. Okay. Are you still reading the chat? I'm a bit...
we'll come back to it. I'll come back to it in a bit.
Right, okay.
And what we are doing is helping people with lower stamp duty, helping people with their energy costs, reducing inflation with our energy package, and keeping taxes low. And I noticed that the Honourable Gentleman had a Damascus conversion last night when he backed our cut to national insurance.
Mr. Speaker, the economy is in turmoil. People are really worried. This is really not the time to descend into absolutely nonsense attacks about last night. There's no point.
I mentioned before, sorry, somebody's ringing me again. I mentioned before about the do you know what it was? Does anybody know in the chat what it was last night that she's referring to? I know I said that there's a U-turn, but I don't think it wasn't a U-turn as far as I know, because Keir Starmer mentions earlier it was about about the VAT, the cut in VAT, and Keir Starmer said that they voted against it originally anyway. So
I haven't picked. I did have a look for that, but I haven't seen anything to chat. If you could just clarify on what she meant, that would be appreciated. But either way, she's trying to kind of pin something on Labour, which is totally not. Is it on national insurance? Yeah, it's something to do with the back. That's right. Yes, that's right, Ben. So when they announced the national insurance hike. You remember when Boris announced the national insurance hike?
Yeah.
So obviously Labour rejected it, and her part, basically Boris's party, voted for it, including Liz Truss. And then she's basically trying to say, because she's not raising the national insurance, why are you not happy that we're not introducing the national insurance hike, basically, sort of thing. So I think it's something to do with that, and basically. Right. Keir Starmer basically turned around. Well, we voted against it. You voted for it.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's what that is.
Okay.
So,
let's go back to this then.
There's no point. There's no point trying to hide it. Everyone can see what has happened. The Tories went on a borrowing spree, sending mortgage rates through the roof. They are skyrocketing by £500 a month. And for nearly 2 million homeowners, their fixed rate deals are coming to an end next year. They're worried sick, and everybody in this House knows it. They won't forgive. They won't forget, and nor should they. When will she stop ducking responsibility, do the right thing, and reverse her kamikaze budget, which is causing so much pain?
Mr. Speaker, last night the Labour Party supported bringing down national
I want to hear the Prime Minister. I'm sorry if her own party doesn't, but I certainly do. Prime Minister.
Right, so just before we go into this next bit, it's really important to say this is so I can't stress this enough. Under the British law, if we want to show footage from the Houses of Parliament, we can't do it in a take the mickey, basically. We can't do a parody, we can't laugh about it or anything like that. So this next bit, don't want to. We can't laugh about it.
We're not going to. We're not
taking the mickey out of it or anything like that. And more important than that, you can't laugh it either. So I don't want any laughing. Right? Not you, Regan. Hey, stop it. We'll have the police knocking on our door. No laughing at this bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Unless you're outside the UK, in which case you can laugh as much as you want. But if you're in the UK, no laughing. Right? Watching you. Come on.
You're watching that finger pointing, people. He's warning us.
No, I'm not laughing. Stop laughing. Stop it, Regan.
Mm-hmm.
Straight faced. Do not laugh at this bit.
Mr. Speaker, I'm genuinely unclear about what
I hope there's no laughing there. No laughing. I can see you, Regan.
I think we don't want an early bath at this stage. Rugby World Cup's coming. Don't start it too soon. Just let's hear the questions and certainly the answers, Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm genuinely unclear as to what the Labour.
So I hope there's no laughing now, smirking or anything like that. She's genuinely unclear. Twice.
It's not a very good comment to make as a Prime Minister when you say that, and it's obviously interpreted obviously the wrong way. And
yeah,
if social media has reacted obviously uncanny. It doesn't make her look good at all.
No, she could have worded that totally differently. Yeah. She could say Labour aren't being clear about what they're saying, but we say I'm genuinely unclear.
We both know how we generally feel about it.
Which is absolutely stern-faced and not funny at all.
But she could have worded it better. Let's put it that way. She didn't help herself in that point.
No,
it's it's not a good look. I mean, I don't know. I don't think she had such a bad. I don't think she got destroyed, but she didn't look good at this PMQs. Like, she didn't answer any questions at all. Like, because I watched the full PMQ, she didn't answer any questions at all, as what we expected, and it's just people need answers, and we're not getting any answers, and it's incredibly frustrating. And also right at the end of PMQs, it's not on this clip, but if you were one of the people who watched the full thing, you've probably seen it on social media. The last person who asked Liz Truss the question was about a general election, because over 500,000 people had signed a petition calling for a general election. And if you guys want to know, there's actually going to be a debate in Parliament on October the 17th. They're actually going to have a general debate in Parliament because it's reached over 500,000 signatures, so it would be wrong if they didn't.
Yeah, when you say debate in Parliament, it'll be in the committee room at the back with a few people, about 10 people. It's a bit of a misnomer when they say it's going to be debated in Parliament. It's debated in the House.
But she basically said, when asked the question about the general election, she says, I don't think people want a general election, or something along those lines, basically. So you can guess what kind of response that they got. She
said people don't want a general election, whereas like all the polling showing that most people, is over 60% of people want a general election. Mm-hmm. So I think everybody's had enough.
Let's move away from PMQs, because I'm sure people have already enough of it. But let's just see in the chat. So hello, Scott Dog, good to see you. FD Boater says it's fine. I've changed my VPN location. That's all right. We'll still track it down somehow. I'm generally unclear why I can't laugh. Well, in that case, with my content, I'm surprised I haven't been sent on the first plane to Rwanda with all the Mickey taking I've done. Oh, don't worry, Daily Blase. They'll come for you.
Your name's on the list.
Your name is on the list. Mr. Speaker, Mum, tell them off, Mum. They're laughing at me. Dear. Can't help but just have a bit of fun living.
No, yeah, you have to laugh at it.
That. Yeah, because obviously we've got to be a bit careful when we're doing a PM covering our PMQs, obviously, like that.
As long as nobody reports us. So I did say it to. I said it to what's it one time. All Shorts, because he did it, and I was like, you can get in trouble for doing that. He's like, it's okay, I'm in France. I'm like, okay, fair enough.
We're not in France.
We're not in France. No. Do you want to go on to the next one then?
Yes, you must have the article because I don't have this.
Oh, you've not got it.
So everyone's favourite Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, who dreams of those flights to Rwanda.
Yeah, dreams of them flying off.
You want to read a bit of it then?
Yeah, I'll read a bit. I do need to go and make a phone call. We'll try and keep it very short, so you're going to have to take over for a little bit at one point. But as I've got all the buttons, but I'll read this one.
We'll do that in the next topic. I can ramble a bit.
Right. Okay. Sorry about this. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
so post-Brexit deal with India could be derailed over Braverman's disrespectful migrant comments. So she's gone double xenophobic. My God.
Oh, good God, that face.
I know. Oh. Kind of a bit all over the place. That hang on a second. Let me see. Bring that. If I zoom out, maybe. Nope. Let's try. Sorry, just let me. I don't know why that's kind of a bit all over the place. Technical problems. There we go. Right. Home Secretary Suella Braverman claimed that Indian migrants are the largest group who overstay their welcome in the UK could derail Britain's post-Brexit trade deal with New Delhi. Indian ministers are said to be furious with the remarks as the agreement is reportedly on the verge of collapse. She had concerns about the deal last week because it might increase migration, telling The Spectator, the largest group of people who overstay are Indian migrants. A source in Delhi told The Times they were shocked and disappointed by remarks, branding them disrespectful, while a government source said it had set the relationship a step back. There's still a lot of goodwill, but if certain individuals are still embedded in the government, it will paralyse the talks. Oh, we're basically saying, get rid of Suella Braverman. Department for International
Not good if
Trade.
You want to have a. Not good if you want to have a trade deal with them.
But the thing about this is, I'm just kind of cutting off there just to say, just to go through this, because this goes back to 2016. Before 2016, this goes back to before Brexit, because even back then, the Indian government made it clear that if Britain wanted to have a trade deal, if it post Brexit, they would need to give more visas to India for people to come to Britain, and that was basically laid that out on the table straight away. This is what you want, which, for the racists who voted Brexit, and not all people who voted Brexit are racist, but all racists voted for Brexit. It's just like, when they talk about immigration and they're saying, "Oh, we've got too many people coming in," and yet they knew that this would happen, that India would want to be able to send more people to Britain, or to allow more people to come to Britain, I should say. This is always going to be on the cards, but Suella Braverman, I mean, what? We talked about it last week about the whole thing of that she's an immigrant or a child of immigrants who seems to hate immigrants, and it just kind of plays into the far right xenophobia.
It's just where, yeah, as we discussed it last week, obviously, these are, we said it, didn't we, that Rishi Sunak didn't get the top job because he wasn't a white man, and this is Suella Braverman, like Preet Patel, looking to appease the white folks in the Conservative Party. That it is a form of racism. Like, if I show I'm racist enough, maybe I'll get to move up a ladder or something. That kind of image. It's just all about like playing the game to move up the ladder, really. And but what she's done here is shot herself in the foot, and she's also kamikazed any hope of a trade deal with India, because and it's not like we don't need immigrants. We do need immigrants. We really do. We really do need some workers here in the UK. I think if you haven't been reading, we are still short of a lot. There's a lot of sectors that really require some workers right now. We've been pleading for more workers ever since we officially left the EU. So it's not helping the situation, and and the thing is, yes, it does fly in the face of the whole point of Brexit, and yes, it undermines their whole Brexit mentality thing, because we can't have more immigrants in. But we're getting more migrants crossing the channel than ever before, which I told Nigel Farage on Twitter, which he doesn't want to admit. We're getting, we need more people. We need more bodies in the UK, and immigration is a good thing. It's a good thing. And I don't have a problem with people from India coming here, give us being able, if they come here, they work and pay their taxes and do their fair share. I'm all for it. Good for them. But Suella is just not helping anyone with her comments.
No, and just kind of you just think well, like you say, it's all just to progress herself within the party. I heard someone say today that she's got kind of gone rogue within the cabinet. They're supposed to have I've forgotten the name of the phrase for it, where everybody in the cabinet is supposed to agree on to toe the party line or the Prime Minister's line on issues, and she's just kind of gone rogue, really.
There is no party line.
No, well,
there's no party line in this cabinet. We've seen that. I think if there was one, you would have thought over the weekend there would have been a chance to kind of bring some unity together, but we haven't really seen that.
No.
So
I think it was interesting tonight, because I was just listening to Ian Dale was on LBC before we came on, and he said Robert Peston's just tweeted that a member of the cabinet has said that he'd rather some MPs would rather this government fail and they go for a general election, and even if they risk losing the seats, rather than if this government carrying on. It's so bad. Now, interestingly enough, Robert Peston was having an interview with Jacob Rees-Mogg tonight. So whether it was Jacob Rees-Mogg who said that, I don't know, but it could be pure coincidence of that. But
right,
yeah, I think there's nothing much. It's all just talk, blah blah blah. We still want to do it, blah blah. So.
Yeah. Do you want me? Right. So the next one is about barristers. Obviously, you said
you've got that one.
Yes, I have. This one is a couple of days ago, guys. Lee, just leave it on. Rather than leave it on the article, do you want to just leave it on me while you pop away?
I'll put you on.
And then just so, because obviously you'd need to scroll down while I'm talking, but you won't be here for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Right. So Lee's going to pop away for a minute while I just talk about this. So this is from the article, guys. So if you guys heard, so obviously we've had a lot of strike actions been taking place, obviously, in the country. But one good news out of all the strike actions is that actually criminal barristers in England and Wales have voted to end the strike actions. So this is from The Guardian, and I thought this one, considering there's obviously the train strikes going on, there's obviously the talk of doctors and nurses potentially going on strike, and obviously that would be catastrophic. This one applies, obviously, it says here, criminal barristers in England and Wales voted to end strike action. So it says, Criminal barristers have voted to accept the government's pay deal on legal aid feeds and end their indefinite strike. The offer by the Justice Secretary Brandon Lewis included a 50% increase in legal aid feeds to the vast majority of cases currently in the Crown Court, £3 million of funding for case preparation, and £4 million for pre-recorded cross-examinations of vulnerable victims and witnesses. The Ministry of Justice has previously announced a 15% increase in legal aid fees, but not only applicable to new cases from the end of September, so not covering the backlog in the Crown Courts of about 60,000 cases. The Criminal Bar Association had been demanding an immediate 25% increase, applicable for all cases, but agreed to put the government's offer to its members. Industrial strike action began back in April and had been gradually escalating until criminal barristers began an indefinite strike on the 5th of September. Voting opened on Tuesday and closed midnight on Sunday. The CBA said on Monday that 57% of the 2,605 who voted were in favour of accepting the government's offer. As a result, industrial action will end from 5 p.m. on Monday. So obviously the Monday previous is when the strikes finally ended for barristers. Kirsty Barmlow, the KC CBA chair, said the criminal justice system remains quite chronologically underfunded. The onus is on the government to properly fund it. Barristers' acceptance of this deal is the first step in working with government for long-term reform. If the deals fall short in implementation, the CBA will ballot its members again on taking action. It should never have got to this stage of barristers taking action to force more funding into criminal legal aid. The CBA looks forward to new and different approach by governments to funding of barristers who deliver justice in the criminal law courts. We'll see this deal and its acceptance as a start. The government said that the offer, which included a £5 million uplift a year for fees in youth courts, represents a further investment of £54 million in the criminal bar and solicitors. The decision by barristers in England and Wales to accept the offer will come as a relief to the government amid industrial action across several sectors, including railway and postal service. Of course, I forgot about postal service. It also removes the looming threat of defendants on remand for serious crimes being released on bail as they reach at the end of their custody time limits because their trials have been delayed due to the strike. High Court judges said last month that by the last week of November, when 3 months would have passed since the CBA announced its indefinite walkout, the absence of legal representation because of the strikes was unlikely to be sufficient reason for extending custody time limits beyond the 6-month maximum. Lewis, who met CBA leaders shortly after taking office, in contrast to the predecessor Dominic Raab, who refused to hold talks with him. So Dominic Raab doing his fine job as always, ignoring people, just like the previous Transport Secretary Graham Sharks when it comes to the rail strikes, welcomed the result of the ballot. Since starting this job 5 weeks ago, my priority has been to end this strike action and reduce delays for the victims. I'm glad that the barristers have agreed and returned to work, he said. This breakthrough is a result of coming together and restarting what I hope to be a constructive relationship as we work to drive down the backlog and ensure victims see justice done sooner. The delayed criminal aid review published in December recommended an immediate minimum increase in legal aid fees of 15%. The CBA said criminal barristers have seen earnings fall by 28% since 2006, while inflation is now at 9.9. So since 2006, their real-life earnings, these barristers, have been fallen by 28%. That's a lot of money that they have lost. Barristers said they've been fighting for the future of the criminal justice system, which is failing victims, witnesses, and the accused who faced lengthy delays for cases to come to trial because of the backlog in the courts. The number of criminal barristers is a quarter fewer than 5 years ago, according to the CBA, which blamed low legal aid fees and the stress of working in under-resourced functioning systems for driving advocates, particularly juniors, away. So this is an interesting. I did go on for quite a bit, guys, but I thought it was a good one to talk about because obviously there's been so many strikes taking place. Obviously, we've got the postal strike, we had the train strikes, and there's obviously the talk of the doctors and nurses going on strike. And this is good news for the government. the fact that that they've come to an agreement and they found a sticking point. This gives me some hope. I don't know about you, that the fact that they've been able to resolve this issue with it, and they've got they've got a 15% increase in legal aid fees and other there's still some things obviously they need to work out, but the fact that they're able to go back to work and get better pay is a great it's a great victory for them, and it shows that if you push hard enough, you can finally you can make a difference and change things. What's I don't know if you're back, Lee, if your mic is on, just to check.
I'm back.
I know you haven't had too much to look at this, but what are your initial thoughts on barristers being able to return to work with an increase in their pay?
Well, we need to see it everywhere. The thing is, it's set a precedent now, so it's going to be difficult for them to not agree to something similar for other public sector workers. I thought I saw something about 19% pay rise for some workers the other day, but maybe I'm mistaken. If anybody knows in the chat, yeah, I mean, like I say, it's going to be difficult for them to not agree something similar. You know, it'll be used by all the other public sector workers to try and get more money out of them. And they need a pay. You know, everybody needs to more money at the moment. The way things are going.
But they've been. But I don't know if you saw that bit about that they haven't had a. That it's been like they've lost 28% of their pay. Real earnings has fallen by 28% since 2006. That's a long time, and obviously doctors and nurses haven't had a proper pay rise, and neither has doctors, neither has unionists from rail companies as well.
It's one of those things that I just, because one of the things that I noticed a while back was that the minimum wages have been going up, but other people's wages haven't been going up. So you end up with a situation where, because you've got stagnating wages, but the minimum wage is pushing up. So you ended up with people who are in quite what would normally previously considered quite well paid jobs, edging down towards the minimum wage, which has a knock-on effect for people who are in jobs that are already being paid minimum wage, but are then in very stressful situations, like doctors and nurses, care workers, who'll go, well, I can go and earn the same money or maybe more at a local supermarket. Do you know what I mean? And I haven't got all that stress. It's not a good situation to be in.
But good news for the barristers, and let's hope we get a situation resolved for other strikes going forward as well. Shall we just not because of the time? Do we not? We can talk about the article from Ukraine. Just cover a bit of it before
just check the chat. I don't know if you checked the chat before.
What have they been saying in the chat? What have they been saying? Wee Scott's dog. I saw it on Politics Joe. Yeah, great YouTube channel. They do some great stuff on there.
Lefty Voter says Suella Braverman has a perfect face for radio and a voice for a book, as my old nan used to say.
Great one.
Yeah.
If you can't stand Prit Patel's smirk, you're.
And she says, the thing is, Labour can't bring up the subjects of racism after the Ford report. They're just as bad, if not worse, for me, because expect better from Labour. Yeah, I mean, people don't mention about the issues in the Tory party. You know, the Conservative Party's got real problem with Islamophobia and racism there. But, you know, that was all covered up at the time. It was all the way of get the Labour Party, get Jeremy Corbyn. So...
Oh yeah, I definitely saw Ben that select committee with Mick Lynch. I don't know if Daily Blase is going to cover it on his channel, but I have no problem watching it again. It was really good.
He kind of haunts me, Mick Lynch. But...
Oh, he just bats them out of the park, doesn't he? Every time he asks them those questions, they just don't have a leg to stand on really when they ask them questions. Absolutely fantastic stuff from the unions there.
I think.
Shall we
Yeah.
Shall we go to? We'll go to the an update, a bit of an update on Ukraine.
Yeah. Do you want me to do this one because you've been reading the others? Or
Yeah,
okay?
you can do. We'll skip the next topic and just go to. We'll skip the next one and go to the thingy. But go on.
I've lost it again. God.
Oh no, what's he done?
Ukraine gains near Kherson as NATO allies send air defense systems.
That's all right. I'll read a little bit, for the chat while
I've got it. No, I've got it ready.
Oh, you got it now. Okay,
yeah.
Just read a little bit of it.
So, the Defence Minister hails new era as Iris-T system arrives from Germany after Russia bombardment of cities. Ukraine's army boasted of territorial gains near the strategically vital southern city of Kherson on Wednesday, as NATO allies delivered new air defence systems in the wake of Russia's recent missile attacks across the country. After 48 hours of Ukrainian cities coming under heavy fire, the government in Kyiv could celebrate positive news from both front lines and its diplomatic efforts to secure ground-to-air systems. 5 settlements in the Berislav district in the northeast of Kherson region, those places, were said to have been taken from Russian forces over the day. Kherson was the first city to fall to Russia following the invasion on 24th of February and is a crucial strategic and symbolic target for Ukraine's southern counterattack. Meanwhile, Ukraine's defense minister, Alexei Reznikov, lauded the arrival of the first of 4 Iris-T defense systems from Germany and an expedited delivery of the sophisticated National Advanced Surface-to-Air Missile Systems, NASAMS, from the US. A new area of air defense has begun in Ukraine. Reznikov tweeted, Iris-T's from Germany are already here, NASAMS are coming, this is only the beginning and we need more. Because Russia fired more than 80 cruise missiles and 24 drones into Ukraine during the rush hour morning rush hour Monday and continued to attack cities and critical infrastructure across the country on Tuesday. So it's in retaliation to the bridge, the Crimean, Crimea Peninsula Bridge.
So if you guys didn't hear, obviously on the weekend, the key bridge that ties Crimea to Russia, there was an explosion. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Ukraine did claim responsibility for it.
No, they haven't so far, no. They haven't claimed responsibility for it.
It could have been like somebody who was on the Ukrainian side going rogue and possibly, but obviously what it did is obviously.
I think they knew it was happening, whether they actually organised it or whether it was because there was talk that it might be dissidents in Russia who were involved, but I think on those missiles, Ukraine claims to have shot down about half of those missiles and several drones at the time, and there was also the issue that, and I think this is still ongoing, is that I can't remember the name of it now. It's quite hard to pronounce it. The Europe's biggest nuclear power plant, which is kind of surrounded by Russian troops.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat will point it out, but yeah.
The electricity's off, the external power supply is off at the moment. They've got running backup generators, but they have said they're short on diesel to run those generators. So every time it goes off, they would use more of the diesel and puts them in a more precarious place because they've still got one reactor that's still active, I believe. So they have to keep the electric on to keep that while they deal with that reactor. I think they were trying to shut it down, but they have to do it. They have to do it in a particular manner. Obviously, that takes a certain amount of time. So that's a bit of a precarious situation at the moment.
So it's interesting. More weapon supplies, obviously, for Ukraine. In Ukraine have they've claimed they've got more gains, obviously, and NATO allies obviously sending more weapons to supply. So, as we know, Putin's getting more and more crazy as you know, the very threat of nuclear. I mean, he's saying it, but he hasn't pushed a button, and let's hope he doesn't push the button. You know, some kind of coup takes place before he does something mad in Russia. The sooner this war ends, the better for everyone, because it's not good at all.
Yeah. Should we skip that next one because I think we're kind of at 44. We're running a bit.
We'll save the next topic for another time. But we have something much more lovely to share with you guys, don't we, Lee?
Yeah, it's our usual resident bard from Scotland, Wee Scots Dog, with another one of his amazing poems.
Well, hello, Wee Scots Dog here, and as we come up to Halloween, there's going to be a bit of a theme developing here. So today's poem is called Lizzie and Kwasi Kwarteng's Zombie Budget, otherwise known as the Flambé a crock of shit. So the zombie apocalypse nears, as the government goes through the gears of their far-right think tanks with their to-the-brink pranks, the economy to the edge veers. But perhaps should it tip off the ledge, Kwasi's old pals will still make a wedge, as Crispin Odie knows that he's loaded his woes will be softly cushioned by a hedge. Meanwhile Lizzie Truss hungered more flesh. She craved cannibalizing the fresh offspring of the poor folk, whom in cognac she'd soak. In her flambé a block polyps cresh. But as Liz shook the brandy her thumb came quite loose and fell off like a plum, rotting on an old tree. Then off came Lizzie's knee, and her torso then slid off her bum. Soon the picnic was over, they'd fled, as poor zombie Liz lay there and bled. No spawn flamed, throttled, ripped, zombie chopped up blitz was what happened, quite rightly, instead. Tee. Cheerio.
Cheers, Doug, for that. Is Doug in the chat today?
A Wee Scott Dog is in the chat.
No, is he? Oh, there he is, yeah. Lynch told
Yes.
Tories on committee several times that the dispute wasn't just about the money and that conditions had to be agreed first. Tories either couldn't understand or chose not to. Yeah. Well, cheers for that, Doug. That was brilliant.
Thank you once again, Wee Scott Dog. Much appreciated. Unconfirmed that he might have a sister called a Wee English Cat, but that has not been confirmed by Doug. Just in case anyone's asking.
Yeah. So changing gear then.
Yes, let's move right away from politics now.
So this one.
Mm-hmm.
Gran has people in stitches as she accidentally goes live on Facebook with sweary rant. Do you want to read this one?
I will indeed. So, a grandmother has gone viral after accidentally going live on TikTok with an extremely sweary rant. TikTok user Millie managed to record her grand accidental live stream and shared it with her followers online, many of whom were impressed by the colourful language used by throughout the broadcast.
Should we have a look at it? Because I've got it lined up as well. It's not on this article.
But do you want the swearing on the
swear? I don't mind. It's not. It's listed as not for kids. Let's have it. There might be a bit of swearing. Apologies if you're offended easily, but
explicit content of parental advisory.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
I've cocked it up again, you stupid cow.
He bleeps it out anyway.
Oh, that's all right.
In the clip, Millie's gone. Go on, sorry, you carry on.
Okay, in the clip, Millie's gran can be heard saying, "Fucking hell, I've cock."
You bleeped out on the video then as well. Oh, sorry, hang on, let me just turn that off. There you go.
I've clocked it up again, you stupid cow, after going live to all her followers. And she then tried to turn off the stream. She applies a filter that alters her appearance. She can then be heard jabbering manically at the screen until eventually it shuts off. Millie, who shares the TikTok on @mills. Soon, as millions of views. Soon,
Miller. No, it's Miller. Like a Mancunian way of saying it. Miller.
Soon had millions of views on a recording of her grand alongside thousands of comments. One said, "I love old people." Then another wrote, "The fact that someone else joined shortly after joined the live shortly after she went live." Another comment, "It's the violent tapping for me." This happened to my grandma. A fourth user said, "She put on the moustache and glasses filter." Another user said, "I hope I'm not like this when I'm old with all these new crazy tech that might come out."
Oh, it's brilliant. I didn't realise she put a filter on. I thought it was like I thought the daughter and granddaughter had added that, but no.
Oh no! Do you want to know why the filter was on there? It's because it's from the mirror, and obviously they're not going to put that on there.
Yeah.
On their side. But
yeah, that's funny.
You know, some people are just not, just a bit late for the technology these days, unfortunately. So
I say it's just that she's trying to switch it off.
The red button. You press the red button. Oh, doesn't that launch the nuclear? Isn't that the nuclear button?
You can do this one as well. This one was yours, so I'll let you do this one.
Oh, what?
Ready?
The one that everyone's been waiting for, the trapped squirrel. Oh, now this is. I feel so sorry for those in Scotland who could not get their usual Greggs. So, trapped squirrel forces Greggs shop to close. This cheeky creature was captured in a branch of the high street pastry specialist in Berkshire, Scotland, on Saturday, and was not freed into the nearby Fuskley Woods until Tuesday evening. What an outrage! An overly adventurous squirrel forced a Greggs shop to close after getting trapped inside. The animal was captured in a branch of pastry specialist in Berkshire on Sunday, and it was not freed until nearby Fax Alley Woods until Tuesday evening. Greg's Twitter account revealed that the critter's movements the following morning, joking there had been a new starter at the store and changed its display picture to reflect it.
It's on the
it's not showing it on there.
I can't see it.
Okay. Well, Greg's basically tweeted a picture of the squirrel and all that, which is fun.
I think it's probably that picture there, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, it's pretty much that picture there. And basically had new profile picture. In a thread with hundreds of likes, Greg's tweeted, "Some of you may have noticed we've had a wee new starter in Greg's this week. Friendly locals offered to help to lure the Greg squirrel out." The high street favourite said, quoting an offer to help from a high school up the road. It added, "But ultimately, you're not having a tasty sleepover in Greg's. Would you leave?" No, of course not. It's only right that we made the Greg squirrel part of the family. After giving us a run around, we managed to catch the Greg squirrel safe and sound. Thanks for the enthusiastic first shift.
Oh, they missed a pun there. It should be first, FUR, like first. First shift.
The shop is closed for a deep clean and will reopen later this week. Greg's posted an image with a name badge made especially for the squirrel, along with a video of its release. It's not known whether the briefly employed squirrel was entitled to a severance package.
Nuts.
Oh,
you should have said may contain nuts. Oh, there's so many puns you could do on that.
Oh dear.
He's just squirreling the Greggs away, the pasties. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just thinking up on the fly. There we go. Right.
Oh dear.
So
right, which one are we going to next then?
This one's kind of a feel good one. But sorry, a wee Scots dog said a squirrel tried to throw itself under my car yesterday. I think it was worried about the economic outlook. You saw a picture of Liz Truss.
If Larry the cat, is already displeased with Liz Truss, the animal's already had it. I mean,
that was funny. All right, this one's a feel good one. So, from Arizona. Yeah, Arizona. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you read this lovely one.
There's a video.
Every day when I come home, there's at least 5 or 10 more.
Leatrice Smiley finds herself smiling a lot lately.
Pretty much everything from this row back are all 20-inch bikes.
Bikes big and small now fill her garage and backyard. What led them to being here started with a Facebook post.
I made the first post just kind of ranting as an angry parent that somebody stole my daughter's bike from the school. Like, you know, who steals from an elementary school? Who steals from kids?
Leatrice says on August 31st, her 13-year-old daughter Zanaya had her locked bike stolen right off the bike rack outside Leading Edge Academy in Maricopa.
I was really hoping that someone would just see the post and, you know, put it back and all's fair, but it didn't happen.
What did happen was even better. Folks from all over the community began offering to donate her daughter a new one. That's when Leatrice got an idea.
Let's turn this into something better. We can make this something that's really big for everybody because we're blessed and we're fortunate enough to be in a situation where we didn't need anyone to help us get a bike, even though, you know, the offer was amazing and it was very helpful.
She decided to post again after being inspired by the outpouring of kindness, asking them instead to help her start a small bike drive.
Our very first day of collecting bikes, we were scheduled to pick up 5, we got 17.
Now it's over 100 and soon they'll all find a good home.
We reached out to all of the elementary and middle schools here in Maricopa to see if they can identify kids who walk home from school who don't have access to bikes.
Now, not every bike is ready to roll out the door, at times in need of a little TLC in the form of new tires and tubes, brakes, and grips. Neighbor and retired police officer Frank Shaw is on the case.
Yeah, when I was a police officer up in Washington, I was on bike patrol, and I did all the basic maintenance for our bikes in our patrol unit for probably 10 years.
Putting his skills to work for Leatrice, transforming run-down bikes one by one.
There's helmets here.
It's been a true community-wide effort that's left this mom in awe.
It's been beautiful, and I just want to say thank you to everybody.
I'm Cameron Polam, ABC 15, Arizona.
And while ABC 15's Second Chance Bike Drive has...
So, yeah, that's a really nice story, lovely story.
Yeah.
Just from a Facebook post, she got so many offers of bikes to help her out, and she thought, oh, why not help other people who can't afford to get bikes? And that ex-policeman offered to do them up, and he's doing a really good job. So that's a really cool story.
Yes, it's just like you know, something terrible happened, you know, and you know, it doesn't just happen in the UK; it happens everywhere. Unfortunately, you know, there are just nasty people who just, you know, it's one thing to steal an adult's bike, you know, but stealing a kid's one is just like it's just plain cruel. But what it did is that it opened up people's hearts and minds and turned into something that was terrible turned into something beautiful in the end, because all those bikes and she got and out to offering them to kids who haven't got ones at all. I think it's just a lovely story, you know, things like that, and we don't hear enough about small little things. So lovely story, great, so happy for her, and happy that lots of kids who haven't got a bike and are going to get one for free in Arizona. So lovely story.
Right, this one is one we've been trying to do for a couple of weeks, but we haven't got around to it. We've been short for time, so this is one of yours.
Which one is this?
The police.
Oh,
dog.
I haven't got the article up.
Oh, do you want me to read it then?
Yeah, can you? Sorry.
So this is a police dog that saved 38 lives during an 8-year career. He's honoured for bravery and now gets to play on the beach. That sounds cool. So he's been honoured with a Thin Blue Paw Awards gala. They said last week, but this is a few weeks ago now. But 10-year-old German Shepherd retired in June and celebrated with her handler by going on her first ever vacation, enjoying playtime on a beach and swimming in the sea. Scottish police officer Linda McBride first partnered with Luna in December 2012 when the pup was just 12 weeks old, and since then the duo has always looked out for each other. Based at Larbert in the Central Division of Police Scotland, the 55-year-old officer said the bond between the pair will never be broken. Luna lives with Linda and a pair of active police dogs, a German Shepherd and Cocker Spaniel, as well as a 91-year-old mother who has a great relationship with all the dogs. Luna will continue to work as a choice was hers, said P.C. McBride. She was an exceptional police dog to work alongside, and when I found out she'd won the Lifesaver Award, I was blown away. I even cried. Saying I'm proud of Luna at how much she's achieved is an understatement. Luna was skilled in searching and tracking high-risk missing people, with 38 successes achieved during her career. In December 2019, Luna was sent to search for a vulnerable man who had gone missing from his home. She located him hidden in the bushes, suffering from hypothermia and needing immediate hospital care. In 2015, the pooch managed to find a fingertip that had been bitten off during a fight so that he could be taken to hospital. Doctors could attempt to reattach it for the victim. Linda believes it is Luna's intuitive nature that made her so good at searching for missing people too, because she wanted to help. And Thin Blue Paw agrees. It's astounding to read all the stories in which Luna has quite literally saved someone's life, said the Foundation's trustee, Kieran Stanbridge. It's a true inspiration. Oh, that's cool.
Lovely dog.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to share this one with you guys, but you know what they say about man's best friend, or shall we say woman's best friend here. It's if dogs do have feelings, and if you treat them right and treat them well, and they can be just as good as any child that you raise, and Luna is a prime example of that. Lovely story, and happily retired dog. So got his own vacation as well. So you can't can't ask for more for a lovely animal.
And then
I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah, from a dog to a cheeky cat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
last story of the day, guys. Where is it on here? I have not got that up here either. Oh my God.
This is another one we were supposed to do this one last week. The cat who loves sneaking into school gets portrait taken on picture day. Have you got it? You're not got it?
Give me 1 second, because I would like to read this one. You can start reading it, and I'll.
Okay, so this is looking very smart. This is the after picture day, Mum Emma Roberts is expecting to get street photos of her two daughters, Megan and Chloe, aged 10 and 7. But to her great amusement, Emma 45 was also handed professional pics of her naughty cat Ziggy, who seemingly loves nothing more than sneaking into Megan and Chloe's school. There it is.
Oh, that little rascal. Ziggy 4 regularly roams the ground of her daughter's primary school in Flintshire, North Wales. So it only seems fitting that he has a portrait of his very own. Indeed, this clever cat politely sat and stared down the lens in one snap, while looking to the right in another, as if it's deliberately posing for the perfect shot.
See, they know how to do puns. They know how to do puns.
They do. Emma from
Drury
in Flintshire, North Wales said, Chloe handed the letter to me and I expected it to be her photos, but when I looked at it, I was just in floods of laughter as they were. My mum standing by me. Oh, look at those pictures. That is so. This cat is incredible. I asked her what had gone on, and she said that she jumped on the chair. He didn't need any encouragement. He just got up there for the photo. The school has just accepted him, and he goes there at any opportunity. He's there every day. He sleeps on the headmaster's desk, on a pile of books. He goes into every classroom. He even strolls across the hall when they're having an assembly. He's an absolute menace. It was real mixed emotions. It was funny and embarrassing. The kids see him at school as soon as you go pick him up, and you can hear kids talking about him. The head teacher, Mark, said it's impossible to keep Ziggy off the school grounds, so they've accepted defeat and welcomed the cat with open arms. Mark even joked that Ziggy's excellent attendance sets an example to pupils. Emma said that the cat's first visit to school, which is just a 10-minute walk away from her home, in 2019. This is awesome. I love this. I absolutely love this. This is one of the greatest ways to introduce kids to animals. If you don't want to own animals yourselves, a school having animals itself, it's just a great way to get them to bond with them. I love it. I really do. I wish I had a cat like that just randomly turned up back when I was in school.
What an idea! You just an assembly and the cat just strolls across.
That pose, because considering I'm living with cats at the moment, it's just
just that one. I'll just look to the left, or to the right, whatever. Yeah,
you got posture. This cat is into a bit of modelling, as you can see.
It's like my turn to sit on the chair now.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Fantastic story. We've just roughly got just over the hour mark, Lee.
Yeah.
And,
I'm glad to say just the phone calls that I had before. I thought there was an emergency, but it wasn't. So I'm just that was why I was a bit stressed out at the beginning of this live stream. So apologies for that.
Yeah. Well, it didn't affect obviously too much of the show, so that's and obviously nothing too serious. So that's
nothing serious at all. So that's good.
That's also good things to say. But just before we go to our one final video before we wrap up the show, guys, if you can hit that like button, obviously greatly appreciate, and it helps support the channel. If you can also share it across your social media platforms, it will also get us a bit out there, obviously, because we always want to help promote the content and keep it going. And of course, there's that little bell icon right next to the subscribe button, and if you click that, obviously you'll make the cat happy as well, Ziggy, as well, by doing that as well, to be notified of when we go live. And also, we have our own server as well, called the Snowflake server, which you guys can check out. And I've got a link here, and this link will not, cross fingers, will not
self-destruct in 24 hours.
Self-destruct in 24 hours, yeah. I did say it too forever. But yeah, if you click that link there, it takes you to our Discord server where we host games nights. We did a movies night on Monday as well, which was pretty cool. And also I host every now one or two live streams from other political broadcasts that you could just kind of watch along with me as well. So we always, and also we have plenty of news stuff going, news that comes in as well, that we use bots to keep you updated with. And we also give you links to when other YouTubers, if you haven't come across as well, you guys can check out as well, such as Daily Blase, who's here as well. All Shorts as well, another great YouTuber, just to name as well.
Wee Scott's dog does his own YouTubes as well. He does his own.
Yes, we should. Yes, also, how can I forget a Wee Scott dog? I mean, the guy's going out of his way providing absolute fantastic poems for us, and we greatly appreciate that. And yes, just definitely check out a Wee Scott dog.
Yeah. On that note about other YouTubers, we've got some exciting news for next week's show. So next week's show is going to be a bit longer, about half an hour longer, we reckon, because we've got a special guest. We've managed to persuade Mr. Van Man Talks to come on the show next week. Which is like, hey! So hopefully we can have more guests, maybe Daily Blase or
Snowflake show in a van.
But the Van Man Talks will be on next week. So that should be interesting. So you got any questions for him, then please, come along next week as well. Come along to see him next week. But if you want to send any questions to us, but we're going to try and keep it a similar sort of format, but we'll involve Van Man Talks in with the show. But yeah, it should be good. It should be exciting.
More of an interesting, a little bit different, obviously. But yeah, we'll play it by ear, and obviously, hope we'll see you guys next week for that show. So obviously, thank you guys very much for watching. Greatly appreciate it, and we hope you guys have a fantastic week.
Yeah, have a good week, guys, and we'll leave you with. Oh, sorry, Vegan Leaks wants to say.
Before you go, we've got one more video, didn't I say?
Yeah.
Oh, of course we did. Yeah. We have one very popular YouTuber. You guys may know her. I certainly do. It is Rosie Holt, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Lee, when you're ready.
Right, see you next week, guys.
Take care.
Have a view on whether those in receipt of benefit should expect that those benefits are uprated in line of inflation, because your cabinet colleague Penny Mordaunt does, and she thinks they should.
Well, I'm a member of the government. We have a government view, but that government view has not yet been established. So therefore, I can't say what my view, my government view, is. What I can tell you is that our former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, pledged that benefits would rise with inflation. So that was my former view. But as for my current view, I can't yet say, and I will, double down on it. It might change if it's a distraction, or if it turns out that I don't know what I'm talking about.
So surely you can answer Susanna's question. It's really simple. What do you personally think, irrespective of what the eventual decision is, do you think that benefits should be linked to inflation or not? It's a dead simple question. We'd like to know what you think.
Well, look, I'm not going to second guess what I think. That's the beauty of working in government. You work as part of a team and you relinquish your own personal opinions and misgivings. You know, it's about disconnecting from your conscience, and that's the sign of a healthy government. It's about blind trust, or blind truss, really. But look, it's growth, and it can see to an objective eye that what we're doing with our policies and with the economy is the opposite of that. But our Prime Minister has made very clear that it's her opponents and not her actions which is the anti-growth. We support the most vulnerable in society, and by doing that, sometimes it's to not support the most vulnerable in society. I'm afraid I can't elaborate for you how that would work, because it falls into the realms of my personal opinion.